Okay, so this is our competition lunge stretch, and of course we mix up our stretch every once in a while. Like I do a different stretch at in my technique class than I do when we're all together for production, etc. And a lot of the teachers mix it up, which we think is important. But this is a really good solid one that makes sure that you're stretching really nice and deep in the hip. You're stretching the hamstrings. So we're gonna go ahead and walk through this for anybody that needs it. Most of the girls that are returning should probably know this by heart. So you're gonna drop into a deep right lunge. You're gonna make sure that the knee and the ankle on the right side there are stacked, just like Emma has them. Lengthen out the back of the knee on the left side, and you're holding and you're pressing the knee open. And then you're gonna turn your body to face the side wall, and you're gonna make sure that your knee is up and really straight, and again, you're squaring off that right leg. After that, you're gonna drop your knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're gonna lay that leg down and hold this stretch where you're pressing your hips forward towards the floor. 8 counts here. Then you're gonna turn your front foot out, and you're gonna hold here in this position. So it's important that we're not just turning out at the ankle or we're cranking the knee. We're actually turning out at the hip. So making sure, dancers, that you're really opening up in the hip here. We hold 8. After that, we do 8 push-ups. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We drop to our elbows, and dancers are gonna roll out on the side of the foot. I'm gonna zoom in here, Emma, to show them your foot. So it is a sickle. It's kind of awkward feeling, and but it's really, really good for you. So the dancers are gonna roll out and they're gonna hold, and that opens up the hip. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're gonna bring that leg across you, and you are going to lengthen out the back leg and press that front hip into the floor. It's really important that we're sitting there and doing that. So we're up here for 8 counts with our arms out and our rib cage closed. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extending up and back, really lifting from the base of the spine, expanding out, holding for 8 counts, and then resting on the front leg and really allowing yourself to really get over that front hip and face that towards, yep, there you go. Good, good, good. All right, and this is another transition that can be tricky. So the back knee here is going to slide into the front knee, and dancers will sit back, good, and you're gonna hug your knee. So give it a good squeeze and rotate, good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna stand up with the right foot forward to face the side wall in a forward lunge. Feet are both parallel. That is super important. They're facing the side wall, and it's really important with our hips to make sure that they are squared off. There you go. Good, good, good. So we hold that for 8 counts. Turn and face the front for 8 counts, and then we repeat the entire thing on the left. But for today, we don't have to do that. We'll repeat everything on the left. We end up coming back to our center stretch, reaching down through the center. Feet are together. Hug the back of the knees. And again, everything's held for 8 counts. Dancers will squat low with their arms in front of them, all the way down, good. And try to keep the heels connected to the floor. It's a very difficult thing, but if you can, try to keep the knees together and heels connected to the floor. Sliding back, girls will stretch their pike, and they're gonna stretch their feet. Standing up and sitting up nice and tall. Your arms are gonna come up to high fifth over the head, and we push to a flat back. And hold, and reach back up, and open, and repeat, and come back up. Again, everything's 8 counts. Good. And really press the chest forward. Good, awesome. Great, and she reached out before she came up, which is super great. All right, next dancers, please flex your feet and just give them a good pull. And you can do that for a couple of counts of 8. This is fine to release the hamstrings and lift the heels up off the floor. Awesome. We go into our butterfly. Go ahead, Emma, into the butterfly stretch. So we hold 8 on the right side and press away. She's really pushing into that right leg and rotating in the shoulders, and then pressing the other side. Good, and then center. And then coming up. Awesome. From there, we go on to our straddle. Stretching our legs, making sure the knees are facing the ceiling and our feet are stretched. And it's really important that our feet are actively stretched here. Dancers are sitting up nice and tall, tummies are activated, belly buttons are pulling into the spine, and we reach over and making sure the shoulders are stacked here. You can see that both the shoulders are stacked on top of each other, and reach past the foot to come up. Good, to give a little bit of space in the shoulder. Good, and again, everything's for 8 counts. If you've got more time and you wanna do longer, that's fine. If you wanna do 16. And sit up nice and tall and rotate. This is tricky. It's important to make sure that your shoulders are square and flat facing your leg. That is hard to do, and the front arm and the front shoulder is going to want to lift. We need to make sure it's staying squared off. And she's gonna come up and rotate back to the front, and then the same thing to the other side. And coming up and center, and making sure those knees are pressing back. We don't want the knees rolling in at all, dancers, so while you're doing that, make sure you're really engaging. And come up. Awesome. And then after this, we typically go to, I think, our frog stretch, right? We push through our straddle and then go to frog. So you can go ahead and push through your straddle as much as you can and hold for 8. Then you're gonna go to your frog stretch here. It's important, dancers, that you're lining up your knee and your hip in one line. You should be making a nice little box, okay? Here we go. We do push-ups here. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Good, and we come out of it. And then, of course, at the end of it, we're gonna check our splits, make sure they look fabulous. And if there's anything else that you need to stretch at the end, we really encourage you to do that. Practice hard, dancers. Stretching every day is super helpful, but so are the other videos, so make sure you take advantage of everything.